It's like people were asking me about officiating uh, before the game. We're we're a really good team, and we don't get the kind of respect from officials that we deserve. Like some of the stuff that went on today was just bizarre. And we'll turn it in and we'll talk about it. Not just, I mean, Angel deserves more respect out there. And then also, like some of the calls, just excuse after excuse for why they missed it or things like that. That's just stuff that uh, is why the players get as frustrated as they do.
Angel Reese has become such a dominant force since joining the Atlanta Dream, okay? She literally put the dream in the Atlanta Dream team. She has made them a dream team. Yes, true indeed, she is no longer a part of my Chicago Sky, okay? That's my team. But I still am a huge fan of Angel Reese. I still love her, none the same. It is what it is, okay? She's no longer part of my Chicago Sky. I still root for Angel Reese. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Angel Reese has recorded 12 double-doubles out of the total 18 games she has played in this current 2026 WNBA season for the Atlanta Dream. She has helped propel the Atlanta Dream to being number one in the Eastern Conference, okay? At one point, just a couple weeks ago, the Atlanta Dream was number one in the league. They was above New York Liberty. They were above the Las Vegas Aces, who are the reigning defending champions. They were above Indiana Fever, Dallas Wings, of course, the Chicago Sky. It is what it is. Again, because of the rebounding, the skills, that tenacity, that passion, that grit, that aggression that Angel Reese has brought to the Atlanta Dream. But Angel Reese has been going through it, guys. She has officially picked up her her fifth technical foul in just 16 games played in this current 2026 WNBA season for the Atlanta Dream. Her head coach of the Atlanta Dream, being Carl Smesco, has decided to call out. He has officially called out the WNBA's referees, okay, for their inconsistent officiating when it comes to Angel Reese. Now, guys, I meant to do this video, okay, the other day prior to last night's game, okay, where we saw the Golden State Valkyries. Unfortunately for the Atlanta Dream, they defeated them 2 times, okay, in just 2 days, okay? Now, the first time on Wednesday, they blew them out by 11 points, okay? Now, in last night's game, they won by just 3 points because Gabby Williams said that she don't want to lose on Pride Night. She said it was Pride Night. She decided to put the whole team on her back. Okay, Naz Hillman was just, oh my gosh, she only put up, 2 points? Ryan Howard sold. Again, a lot of people were agreeing with me about Ryan Howard and her inconsistency and how she was playing in last night's game. She pretty much just did not clock into work. The woman put up just 6 points in 36 minutes of gameplay. Then she had the nerves to hit a 3-point shot at the buzzer. It was 5 seconds left in the fourth and final quarter. And again, some people in my comments were saying, like, they did agree with me in regards to Ryan Howard just drastically taking us out of the game last night, the Atlanta Dream. But then I had other people saying, no, the real disappointment was Naz Hillman. Okay, she let Naz down. How could we ever let Naz down? Naz only put up 2 points in 29 minutes of gameplay. She does this consistently. She's consistent with being inconsistent. Her, along with Ryan Howard, I'm looking at you as well, Isabel Borlaise, and Tahina Pow. So literally right prior, okay, this is actually prior to last night's game beginning, okay, when it was the Golden State Valkyries taking on the Atlanta Dream, or rather the Atlanta Dream taking on the Golden State Valkyries, because last night's game, it occurred at the Valkyries' home court. Prior to that game, head coach of the Atlanta Dream, being Carl Smesco, he decides to do a pregame interview, and he put the officials on blast. Okay, he said, I'm worried about Angel Reese because she's not getting consistent officiating from the WNBA referees. The woman is already on her 5th technical foul in just 16 games played. Excuse after excuse, Dream coach blasts the WNBA officials over Angel Reese's treatment. The article reads, however, during the Dream's 94-87 victory over the Toronto Temple on Monday, Reese picked up her 5th technical foul of the season in just 16 games. The 24-year-old is now only 3 technical fouls away from an automatic suspension, and Smesco believes she is being officiated differently than other players. Speaking with reporters ahead of Friday's game against the Golden State Valkyries, Smesco voiced his frustration with what he believes is inconsistent officiating involving Reese, and he quotes, "Sometimes she does not get the benefit of the call," he said, via ESPN's Kendra Andrews. "If she shuffles a pivot foot, she'll get called for the travel." Again, at this point, a lot of people, again, I'm a huge Angel Reese fan, so don't come for me. A lot of us have voiced our frustrations. They said at this point, Angel Reese, she might as well be leading the league in travels. It don't make no sense. It was giving Alyssa Smith in 2024 when Alyssa Smith was in Indiana Fever. She was getting called for many travels. Like the game would start and Alyssa Smith would get called for a travel. It was ridiculous. But then you see much more egregious travels on the other end, and there won't be anything. If she is not completely vertical, it's a foul. If someone else isn't, I don't know. Angel gets a lot of attention, and sometimes that leads to her not getting the benefit of the calls. But we're trying to address it through the league. Mesco also said league officials have acknowledged missing certain calls during conversations with him. He continues to say how his frustrations have grown. He says, "We are a really good team, and we don't get the kind of respect we deserve from the officials. Some of the stuff that went on today was just bizarre, and Angel deserves more respect out there," he said. Some of the calls, excuse after excuse why they missed it, are things like that. That's why the players get as frustrated as they do. Exactly, of course, absolutely. And this is exactly why we've seen Angel Reese get frustrated. Again, on my previous channel, guys, before, I got hijacked, I talked about how Angel Reese, again, I understand where she's coming from, but she has to be careful with the things she says, her body language, her facial expressions, the way she voices her frustrations towards the ref, because again, that just gives them, in their minds, that just gives them like more bullets, okay, or more ammo to use against her and to even further target Angel. It'll be like, she's always clapping if we don't get the call right, if we don't get a foul right, she's being too aggressive towards us, and that just, it just raises the stakes even higher. And again, I understand Angel Reese's frustration. Again, she's my Taurus twin. Okay, she was born May 6th. I'm born April 25th. Okay, I understand, what it feels like when you're just misunderstood or you're just being, just mistreated, right? You become very frustrated to the point, like, to tears, to the point of anger. And rightfully so. She wants them to feel her wrath. But again, this is just not good. Again, the referees, the WNBA refs got to get better. I know they always say, like, that saying, only losers complain about the refs. You got, Indiana Fever fans saying, like, Caitlin Clark does not get fair officiating. Asia Wilson has a special whistle. Nafisa Collier has a special whistle. Caitlin Clark has a special whistle. And Reese has a special whistle. Everybody got a special whistle. But at the same time, everybody is getting, all these players and their coaches are complaining about the same thing. The WNBA refereeing makes no sense. Even AZ Fudd of the Dallas Wings as a rookie, as soon as she came in the league just over a month ago, of course, at the kickoff of the season, she was like, "I'm even more confused about the WNBA officiating since I began to play in this league." She's like, "I don't understand. I'm getting fouls called on me for nothing, for no reason." She said, "I'm confused." The WNBA referees have become the authors of confusion. And they messing with these people's careers. They messing with people's money. Okay, you got to pay fines. Again, Angel Reese has her, this is her 5th technical foul of the season. They're saying if she gets 3 more, she has to face a game suspension. And that's just incredibly not fair. Again, I really like that Carlos Mesco is fighting for Angel Reese and his team as a whole. Again, I hope that the WNBA referees can actually take into account to what he had to say, okay, in last night's pregame interview. And they actually, have some empathy and just stop being biased towards any player. I don't care if it's Caitlin Clark, anybody. Whether you like a player or not, that has nothing to do with, being the judge. You got to hold court. You hear this side, you hear that side as a judge. It's not about how you feel about their actions, past, present, or future. It's about calling the game correctly and fairly. Again, hopefully, this gets cleared up because, again, I can't stand to see Angel Reese get a game suspension. Having 5 technical fouls in just 16 games is crazy work.